It's always going to be me, myself, and I. You, yourself, and you.
The first 20 years of my life, I was unfulfilled.
Having someone that believes in you more than you believe in yourself is a really special thing. That has changed my whole life. Read the book because I could talk about it for hours.
Michael, let me tell you something about Natasha that you might not know. I think that you know how to take a picture better than anyone else on the internet because you have to take a picture in a bikini. Well, you used to take a picture in a bikini a day.
Every single day.
So you know your angles.
Yeah, I know them.
Yeah, don't mess with someone who knows their angles.
I wasn't messing with anyone to begin with.
Please stop messing with me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I should have known better.
Yeah, she knows, you know the light, you know how to move, you know all the things.
Yeah.
You know how all the tricks, which we're going to get into. Okay, let's get a little bit of backstory on you. I'm sure our audience already knows like who you are in your story because you guys are everywhere. But give us a little bit of a blurb about your childhood, where you grew up.
Okay. So I'm Australian. My accent is kind of mixed, you'll notice, because I grew up mostly in Australia. But when I was 10 years old, I moved to Miami with my stepfamily. And I was there for a few years. Then I moved back to Australia. When I was 19 years old, I moved to Hawaii on my own. And I lived there for 2 or 3 years. That's where I met my bestie, Devin Brugman, that everyone knows us so well for our friendship. And after that, I moved to LA. I've been there for about 12 years and I've always been between LA and somewhere else in the world. It's hard for me to stay in one place because I've always moved around so much during my life.
What's the best place of all those places? You had to pick one.
Oh my God, it's so hard to pick one because I'm living between Sydney and LA at the moment. And I never thought I'd move back to Sydney, but my husband has really made me fall back in love with Sydney and really appreciate it because it's so much natural beauty. It's so safe and clean and it really is an amazing city. But apart from that, I really do love LA. It's always been a place of positivity for me. So I think my husband always says it's a really nostalgic place for me because it's where it all began. And I've always just associated it with so much positivity. So yeah, I love them both. It's really hard to choose.
When you reflect back on your childhood, you're such an entrepreneur. I mean, from the time I followed you, which was a long time ago, I want to say like 10 years ago, there's something in you that's really driven and ambitious and entrepreneurial. What are those little moments in your childhood that you look back on and you go, that's what that was?
So I talk a lot about this in my book because one thing I say is that I was extremely lucky to grow up with 2 entrepreneurial parents. So my dad was a private investigator and my mom started a real estate agency when she was 18 years old and went straight into business. So I grew up just watching both of my parents as entrepreneurs. I never had any disillusions as to what's involved in running your own business. And, you know, being in the car when my mom was on those work calls and kind of saying, quiet, I've got a work call. And I was like, why does it matter if I am quiet in the background? You know, as a kid, you're always annoyed when your parents ask you to do something like that. But I had to sit there for an hour and listen to her work calls. I mean, that's technically like an internship from when you're a baby. So I had all of this kind of, you know I was absorbing it all subconsciously. And I also would go to my mom's office after school and I'd be stamping papers and pretending to type. And I just would watch her. And really, to me, there was nothing cooler than being a businesswoman. So I think that was a huge inspiration to me.
How do you balance having this sexy career in front of the camera with bathing suits? And you're so beautiful, both of you guys. And then you also have to put on your business hat and have people take you really seriously, and you have to have a totally different persona. I mean, I can imagine it's a grind. How do you balance those two?
I mean, that's a good question. I think also my mom was a beauty queen. She was Miss Australia. So, and she went to Miss Universe and won Miss Universe Photogenic. And then she went into business and was in real estate. And I never saw that like juxtaposition as a problem.
By the way,
me,
I think it's fucking amazing.
Yeah,
I love
I'm like,
it.
we can be it all. We can do whatever we like. I mean, these days, a businesswoman comes in so many different forms. And I think that I've always just gravitated towards the people that do respect me, that are kind to me, that are good people. And anyone that's not vibing with me, that's okay. You know, I just feel like you've got to just gravitate towards what you feel is positive and what serves you and what makes you happy and the people that respect you. And when you do that, I think everything else kind of just falls away. So my experience hasn't been, how do I balance this? It's just been chasing after whatever it is I love, whatever I'm passionate about, whatever makes me happy. And then, you know, whoever has resonated with that along the way, which luckily for us, there's been a lot of people that have, that's great.
You know, it's funny, like listening to you talk, and this is maybe going to sound strange, but I think people do themselves a disservice paying attention to narratives.
Absolutely.
Right? Meaning like, Lauren, even when you ask that question, like there's an implication that a pretty woman could not also be business and then be taken seriously. And I think a lot of people start playing into these narratives and then that becomes a reality. But in your case, it sounds like you just like never even realized that was a possible narrative. And so that shapes your reality. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And I think for me, I'm very lucky because I'm so focused on what I'm doing at all times. And I'm so passionate about it that it's easy for me to ignore those things, right? But not everyone has that same passion or focus or the same confidence as me. So I also do really understand people, you know, having those insecurities. And I also understand that I've been so lucky in my career to be surrounded by so much positivity, whether I've attracted that or not. But not everyone is in that situation. And it can be hard sometimes being judged. And there are stereotypes out there and that we're all fighting against them, aren't we? You know, so I guess in my own way, that's what I want to do, is just always focus on the positive and show that that's not what matters.
Yeah, Lauren always asks me, like, how does your, you know, like your charm and your wit and you're like so handsome, like, doesn't that ever get in your way? And I'm like, no, Lauren, it's just
never asked you that.
It's just, you know, she asks me every day and I just say, it's a struggle I've had to go through, but you know.
I really feel for you.
If I hear you talk about
your hairline. It pretty much every hour. You know? Like, you know, it's been tough, but I'm here. I'm still going.
Yeah.
I think that one of my girlfriends is from Australia and she was telling me, and I've talked about this on the podcast before, about tall poppy syndrome in Australia.
Oh, yeah.
Is this true?
It's a thing. It's a thing for sure. And that's why for me, you know, I love so many things about Australia. And I will say a lot of my teams that I work with on photography or stylists or hair and makeup are Australian, because when an Australian is good at something, I have to say, I think they're the best in the world. They can be so focused, so to the point. They just get shit done. They're amazing. But there is definitely an island mentality there of, you know, people love you on the way up, but then once you're at the top, they are wanting to cut you down. They're wanting to find things wrong. And that exists everywhere in the world to some degree. But the thing that exists here in the US is so much outside of that in terms of positivity, people wanting to lift you up, people wanting to be a fan, people wanting to support your products. And I think that in my career, being surrounded by that was a really, really, really pivotal thing for me. Whereas if I had stayed in Australia and not moved to the US, I do not think I would be where I am today.
Did you experience that when you started to have success there?
I experienced that even as a teenager. It was like I was always someone that walked to the beat of my own drum. I was never trying to please someone else by changing who I am. And I always just really like had this innate ability to stay true to myself. And even that threatened people, you know, so it was always a little bit of a problem for me there. And I think Americans have this like crazy optimistic vibe that I really resonate with. You know, like Devin's my best friend and we are always so positive about everything. And even when something goes horribly wrong, we like laugh and we're like, of course this happens to us. Like everything bad happens to us, but like we're laughing about it, you know, and we're just so, I do love that optimism that I'm surrounded by here in the US.
If someone's listening and they want to start a business, but they feel like maybe there's a tall poppy syndrome situation going on, whether it's their family or their friends, what advice would you give them?
I think it's really, really important to rely on yourself for your own self-esteem and self-confidence. And the reason I say that is because across all areas of your life, personally, professionally, and this is always the way that I've been, it's always going to be me, myself, and I, you, yourself, and you, right? So you need to let everything else just fall away, and you need to realize that you are the only one that is truly going to look after you, back you, support yourself. You have to love yourself. You have to give yourself confidence, and it has to all come from you first. And everything outside of that is a bonus. And then once you're able to really feel that way within yourself. And I think what comes with that is finding the things that make you happy and that you're truly passionate about and that you feel confident doing. Because I think when people are questioning themselves within a role, within their career, their personality, I think everyone has to do work on themselves, right? I don't want to just say to people, just be confident in yourself and don't worry what anyone else thinks. You have to work on yourself. You have to do kind things for other people. You have to run a business that matters, that does well by others. You need to do all of these things that make you feel good about yourself, that you know inside yourself you're doing your best. You're doing the best you can. You're making the world a better place in some way. And all of those things add up to you just knowing inside yourself that it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks.
When you look back on your childhood, what are things that you think your parents did to really instill confidence?
Well, my dad is my number one fan in the whole world.
So
like,
cute.
if you guys ever go to Sydney and do the Bronte to Bondi walk, he will be selling you a book or a bikini or the Pilates class, and he will be announcing to you that he is my father and trying to sell a product. And like, I have to say, apart from Devin, who's like my other number one fan, and having these people in my life, my dad, I think him just being there, you don't understand the amount of times he said to me, I'll go, oh, Dad, yeah, Devin and I are doing this new thing. He goes, you have no idea how big this is going to be. He's manifesting my future for me, and I know it. He really, really does. And then on the other side, my mom, she is definitely more of, you know, the businesswoman and the more cold kind of, I don't know, I'm like both of them in a lot of ways. But for her, I think being so direct about being independent, not relying on men, you know, all of these different things that she drilled into me. She didn't give me one thing. I had to work for it. You know, I didn't grow up just being given things. I had to get a job at 14 and 9 months. I created my own independence because I was not able to have anything I wanted unless I got it for myself. So I liked that she did that. And then on the other side, I was so lucky. My parents were divorced when I was 5 years old, but I'm lucky that I had the balance of both, because if I had have just had my mom and, you know, maybe I would have been a lot more of a cold person. And then with my dad just being there, so supportive and so sweet and like cheering me on, I'm very lucky for those things. I'm very lucky for the exposure I had to that business acumen from a young age. And I can see how the perfect storm has created the place that I am now from my childhood. And I know how lucky I am for that.
You guys have a lot of similarities with your, like, I think if her dad could make CDs and episodes of this, he would be in New York on the street with like.
It's sometimes really annoying.
No.
You better take notes because you have a daughter. You better be like, that is the best goddamn photo you've ever drawn. She drew you a sparkly princess the other day. I need you to fall over.
It's a good thing for me to hear. And I recognize that Lauren's dad, when you were talking, I'm like, oh, that sounds very similar to how her dad is with her. If
your dad's not your biggest cheerleader, it does instill confidence in a little girl. Think about it. Your dad is your biggest cheerleader. And then it makes you feel like, in my case, and this is the same, it sounds for you. I never felt like I needed a man.
No, and I
always wanted to be independent. I
imagine also, and I don't know you so personally, but I imagine in your dating life, it's helped you pick the right men. Right? Not always, but now, right? You're
yes, yeah,
right, because
definitely.
like you're kind of not going to settle for some piece of shit that's not.
Look, I would have dated for different reasons and just for love and being young and wild, but I would have never married someone
that's what I'm saying.
That would give me anything less than, you know, what my dad would. And yeah, it definitely changes your perspective on the standard that you set for yourself. And again, I just think it really is like a weird manifestation thing, that if not only you are manifesting these things, but the people around you are doing it for you. And I know there's, you guys probably know this too, but there's the people in your life that you know are they're able to manifest things really easily. And then there's the people that manifest like all the wrong things. And there's the people that attract problems. And my dad, he can manifest things, you know, and my husband is the same way. And Devin's the same way. And when you have all these people manifesting something for you as well as yourself, like it's obviously going to happen. So.
Well, I think what it does is like subconsciously it takes root and it just becomes, instead of a belief, it actually like becomes a reality for you.
Exactly.
Right. It's like it's not a surprise.
Yeah.
When certain things happen, you're like, yeah, of course, like this is what the reality is.
And also having someone that believes in you more than you believe in yourself is a really special thing. You know, when he says those things, like when we would have a bikini day and he'd be like, this is amazing, it's going to take over the world. And we would be like, okay. Like we never really like aspired to have what we have. We just loved what we were doing. We had fun. It was so organic. And I think that's something really beautiful about our story, because these days, things are starting to feel a little more forced, you know? But for us, it was just this organic, fun thing that we somehow just by choosing to be so positive and have so much fun with what we were doing, it naturally became, obviously also with a lot of hard work, it naturally became successful. But yeah, I think it's also just like someone else saying to you, like, how big is this going to be? And you kind of weren't even thinking that, but then you're like, oh, maybe this is going to be, you know, really successful.
Lauren's dad literally thinks she's better than Adele. Like Lauren's dad's like, you, I don't know why Adele's singing and you're not, Lauren. And I, you know, in that case, it might be a little off, might be a little bit of a stretch.
I feel like my voice,
but she believes it. She's like, listen, like Adele's pretty good, but I'm
oh my God, I've never heard you sing.
I'll do some Instagram stories.
Oh my God, please do.
I already want a record deal.
Yeah,
I have a song I sing to my son. I want to do a rap to
Maybe
it.
the record label's next for you guys.
You were singing the song that I sing to him. It's catchy.
It's like a show tune, but
okay, it's a show tune.
But I don't go through and be like, I'm the next best. Like she's like, listen, I don't know what these bums are doing. Like it should be me.
A lot of people ask me what's the supplement that they should start with if they're new to supplementation. I obviously am not a doctor or an expert, but I have interviewed a lot of doctors and experts. And across the board, they say a multivitamin is an amazing place to start. The one that I take is essential for women 18 plus. It's a multivitamin and it's by Ritual. So the reason that I specifically like this one is that it's known to increase vitamin D levels by 43% and omega-3 DHA levels by 41% in 12 weeks. And these are two really important assets to me because vitamin D is something I need more of, and so is omega-3 DHA. Every single ingredient that Ritual picks is traceable. It's clinically backed. It's high quality. The one that I take has 9 key nutrients and it has like a minty essence in every bottle. So it's kind of like fun to take your multivitamins. You should know Ritual's multivitamins are vegan, non-GMO, gluten, and allergen-free. They're also, like I said, most importantly, made traceable. So you can go on their site and see where everything's from. No more shady business. Ritual's Essential for Women 18 Plus is a multivitamin you can actually trust. Get 25% off your first month at ritual.com/skinny. Start Ritual or add Essential for Women 18 Plus to your subscription today. That's ritual.com/skinny. You get 25% off.
This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. Whether you're just starting out or managing a growing brand, Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website, engage with your audience, and sell anything from products to content to time, all in one place, all on your own terms. It is 2024. There is absolutely no reason you should not own your own online platform, whether that's an e-com store, a blog, a newsletter, a subscription platform, a course platform, anything that you can call your own online to stand out amongst all of the other businesses and individuals doing the same thing. What we love about Squarespace is long gone are the days of having to hire expensive web developers, take hundreds and hundreds of dollars and spend so much capital on setting up an online presence that you owned. The other thing that we love about Squarespace is you own the platform that you're building online. Many of us use these third-party social platforms to engage with different people online, but we don't actually really own that content, and we're at the mercy of all those different algorithms. If you study what Lauren and I have done for our business, we put a huge emphasis on platforms that we own, whether it's our blogs, our websites, our e-com channels, our RSS feeds. All of this can be done using a platform like Squarespace. And like I said, they have so many options, whether you want to do custom merch, build an online store, create an asset library. You can also build a video collection, build email campaigns. They have so many different tools that you can tap into on their platform. So check it out. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to www.squarespace.com/skinny to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Again, that's squarespace.com/skinny. If there's one thing that Lauren and I are both advocates of, it is having the flexibility to live the way you want to live on your terms. That is why we love Court Furniture Rental so much. Stop being tied down by your furniture, free yourself from ownership, and live life your way. Enjoy furniture on your terms when and where you want it, then change it up again and again. Lauren and I over the years have moved many times at many different phases of our lives, both when we were living alone, when we got engaged, when we became a couple, when we became parents, and every time we've moved, we've kind of switched up our environments. I wish at that point we knew about Court Furniture Rental because we have spent so much unnecessary money on buying furniture that we then later need to sell or get rid of or store. Furniture rental lets you lean into different eras of your life. With furniture rental, you can rent what you need and return it when you're ready for the next chapter. Be in your rent, not to own era. Step into your move when and where you want to era, whether you're in your new city, new you era, or tired of lugging sofas up the stairs era. Court has a package for you. Court makes it easy to furnish a space quickly and on your terms. Enjoy white glove delivery, setup, and assembly. Plus, they pick it all up when you're on your next move. With Court, you can rent the furniture you need when you need it. You can also select one of Court's move-in ready packages and receive free professional styling to ensure your home fits your needs. Just give them a few details about your space and they'll do the rest. White glove delivery included, even down to packing it all up when it's time to go. Check out Court Furniture Rental. Build your own furniture rental package today at court.com. That's CORT.com/podcast. Again, court.com/podcast.
I would think, and I told you guys this off air, that you both are really strong, powerful, beautiful women that are entrepreneurs and don't need a man. How does that work? Because I never got to experience this. So maybe I can live through you guys. When you're dating before your husband, how does that work? Because I feel like men would be almost intimidated by both of you guys.
I mean, I could write a book on this subject.
I'm sure.
I always say, like, maybe this is next, because it's really, I think it's something really important to talk about. And, you know, I'm a feminist in many ways, but I'm also all about equality. And I love men and I love women. And I know the struggles that women have. And I also know the struggles that men have, you know, and I think we're very different people at the end of the day, and we're from totally different planets. It's just so obvious to me at this age and at this point in my life.
It's a bold thing to say these days, but go on.
I mean, when you know that, things become easier because you just understand we're just very different in our makeup. But being a successful woman, you definitely need to be with a very secure, very fulfilled and supportive man. And even then, I think naturally it can create kind of insecurities in your partner, which I've had to deal with a lot in my relationships. And even with the sweetest, kindest partners, it can just break them down, you know, because I always say comparison's the thief of joy, and that exists in relationships too. And I think that men do have the pressure to be the breadwinner, to be the one that they put a lot of pressure on themselves to fill that role, right? So when you're there killing it and they're doing great, you know, within their own life, but compared to what you're doing, they're not doing much. That's like a really horrible comparison to make, because obviously you're going to start to question things or feel bad about yourself or think maybe you're not enough. And like in those situations, I've tried not to take it personally, because I understand when you're striving to be more and do more, how you can very easily feel, you know, compare yourself to someone else, whether it's your partner or just anyone in life. I think even in Sydney, where I'm from, couples do it with other couples. You know, everyone compares to each other. And I think that when you stay in your own lane and you're really fulfilled within what you do, it's really healthy in a relationship. And I found that I cannot be with any man that is not somewhat successful within what they're doing. And that doesn't have to be financially, but they need to really feel like they're killing it. They're doing great. They love what they do. They're fulfilled, and they have to be super secure within themselves. And I finally found that in my husband, but in every other relationship I had, it was a nightmare.
I can imagine. I didn't get I didn't get to date.
Oh, is this gonna be a compliment? Is this gonna be a compliment for me?
No, I didn't get to date at the time that I was independently, like, super financially comfortable and successful. But I can imagine, and I look at like the Kardashians of what they've had to go through with all different kinds of guys that they've been married to. And there's, you know, the Chris Humphries situation. And then you look at like a Paris Hilton, who sort of had to go through all these guys who, if you watch her documentary, were jealous of her. Like it was like glaringly obvious, like they were insecure to be around her. And now she's married this incredible man who's so comfortable and confident. You really do need a specific kind of man who's able to handle having a woman who gets the spotlight.
Yeah, but also as a woman, you have to be super understanding of ensuring that you're always supporting your partner too. Yeah. Like with Theo, I don't compare our wins or think that his are bigger or mine are bigger or his are smaller. Whatever he does, I'm so proud of him and I'm so supportive of him. And I'm very vocal about that. And I really take care to be caring just as much about his hopes and dreams and goals and ambitions as my own. And I think as much as us as powerful women are amazing, there's a lot of learning to do in terms of also making sure it's not just about you all the time, making sure that you care just as much about your partner's goals, whether they're significantly smaller or not as important, you know, like you have to do the work too.
I don't even think like I think I agree with almost everything you're saying, but I also think that people are needing to be more self-aware about the partner they choose in general, but both sexes, meaning
totally.
like I actually think it's a little bit of an ambition mismatch sometimes where like you are very driven. If you get with someone that's like, hey, I want to go to here and you're wanting to go to the moon, and then you start to go to the moon and they like their ambition can't match that. I think that becomes very defeating to a lot of people. I also think that some people grow up in more traditional households where, like, to your point, the man was the breadwinner, and it like throws out their whole dynamic of what they perceive to be like a healthy household.
Yes.
And I think like sometimes people on both sides, they get with someone that maybe comes from that background and they try to change them. It's just like not going to happen. Like you're not going to get them comfortable.
And that's with everything in every relationship, right? Like relationships take a lot of work. It's like, it's hard work to be in a relationship, and you've got to continually always be growing together. One can't grow more and the other one doesn't grow, and then you grow apart, you know, like, so it's really across the board. But I definitely do think, and any successful woman that you talk to, there's women that are much more successful than me, you know, they really struggle to be with men that are not as successful as them.
Yeah,
no, they really do.
The way I grew up watching my mother work my entire life, so that was the dynamic. And then like what I realized that what I wanted in a partner is I wanted someone that could match my ambition and that I wouldn't be able to walk over. So like we were talking about this in the car the other day. I said I would be an absolute disaster with a woman that would let me just get my way all the time. Like it would just be like the Michael show all the time. Like and it would be terrible because the Michael show would run off the rails. Like I know that. So she challenges me.
And now
like,
it's the him and her show.
No, but I like that. I personally as a man.
But mainly the Lauren show, bitch.
I sure, but that's fine.
He loves that. He just got turned on.
I like it, yeah. That revs me up.
He's like, say that again.
That gets me going. Let's end the show. No, but I personally need someone to challenge me, and that's what I want in a partner. Some guys don't want that. They say they do, and then they get it. I talked to my friend the other day. I'm like, he was describing a woman like yourselves. Yeah. And I was talking, I'm like, do you really actually want that?
Yeah.
Right? Like, is that something you really want? Because there's certain things that I know I'm not going to get with a woman. Like I'm not going to get all the nurturing I need all the time. I don't want that. Yeah. I'm not going to get somebody that's going to stop paying attention to what they're working on and drop everything to make sure that they're going to, like, there's certain things like I know that, and I'm fine with that. But some guys say they want it and then they get it and they're like, actually, no, I want you to turn this off and make me the center of your world. I know, like, I'm part of her world. I'm not the center of her world.
Yeah. And
that's
look,
fine.
we have really complex lives with a lot going on at all times. And I will say that no matter what relationship I'm in, my work is not more important than my relationship, but it's pretty much equally important to me.
And I think it's good for you to say that.
And I will prioritize it over many things in my life at all times. And I would never, ever put myself in a position where I'm going to prioritize, you know, family and relationship more. To me, it's like they're all there.
It's an ecosystem.
They're living together, and I'm not going to drop one. And if anything, I would drop like my social life. Like I'm so passionate about work. I'm like it when I wasn't married and I was just in regular relationships with my boyfriends, it was always number one. But I'm like a Cancerian, so I'm extremely loving and affectionate, and I give a lot of love to my partners. I'm like really emotional. So it's not something like, you know, a lot of businesswomen are quite emotionally void because they need to be, depending on the industry that they're in. It's not that for me. It's just that, like, if I have a partner that's trying to control me or doesn't want me to be traveling or isn't okay with me, you know, right now I'm away from my husband for almost 3 weeks. That's kind of the max that I like to take it to.
A little absence is fine.
You could never learn. Don't lie.
No, I didn't say that never. I could.
People find unusual.
No,
it's not
I don't
normal.
find it unusual. I think that what works for you guys is great. I
just got some messages like, Michael,
could
you have
use a little absence
Sorry,
though.
bullshit.
I could use a little absence sometimes. I think it keeps things sexy. I bet the sex when you get back after 3 weeks is like amazing.
I got some notifications like, we got to go to Seattle. I go, I don't have to go to Seattle. Why do I go to Seattle? And she just responds, because I need you to go. I want you to go. There's no reason for me to go.
I just want
you know what I will say though? When I'm not with
Devin with her.
When I'm not with my husband, I'm with my wife.
Yes. So
but if I was traveling on my own, there is absolutely no way I would be away for 3 weeks.
See?
But you know what? I want to tell you guys this story about this Uber driver once that I was speaking to, and he was Chinese, and he said his wife was going away for like 3 months. And I was like, oh my God, you must be so sad. Like, you're going to miss her so much. And he was like, no, I'm actually not. And then I didn't think he didn't then say what I thought he was going to say. He actually said something really like philosophical that I've really like kept within myself since then. He said, your natural rhythm as a person and within your own body is your own rhythm. And when you're on your own, you can be within your natural rhythm of your body. So when you want to eat, when you want to sleep, when you are being you. When you're with your partner, you're being like, you're accommodating to someone else. You're being mindful of someone else.
You're making this sound great.
Yeah. So when he said that, I was like, that is so true.
I have this trip plan, Lauren, that I meant to tell you about.
The natural rhythms.
And I think even if it's for a day or two, I think it's so healthy and important to have time with yourself. And I'm very, introspective, and I'm very like to think deeply, but I will not do that if I'm with someone else. I love plane rides. I love long plane rides, thank God, because being in Australia, if I didn't, it would be horrible. But because I'm on the plane, I barely even watch a movie. I just have my headphones in, I'm on my laptop, I'm looking out the window, I'm thinking about the world. And I think that time alone is like really important to me and my work too, because I'm so focused on me and myself, and it's almost just my time to be selfish, which I think as an entrepreneur is really important. And I don't associate selfishness always with a negative connotation.
If you look at your Instagram, you're traveling to all these beautiful places. I mean, you look amazing in a bikini, but I think people don't realize, and hopefully they do through this book, what an entrepreneur you are and how long you've been doing it. What would people be surprised to know about your daily grind that they have no fucking idea about?
I think just everything.
Yeah, I know.
Everything. Because I think a lot of people don't even know that I'm the CEO of my brands, but I'm the one guilty here of not sharing those things. And I always say that if someone has time to be filming themselves every day working, they are not working. I don't have time. And if someone tried to film me, I would like have a Naomi Campbell moment and like throw something at them and be like, get that out of my face. I'm working, So I always say that we would have loved to share more of the girl boss behind the scenes stuff that we do every single day. I have a team of 40 people across my companies now. I'm the CEO to 2 companies, and I don't have time to share it. And that's why I wanted to write the book, because I was like, I don't think a podcast or a reel or some Instagram stories is going to really, truly be able to explain the ins and outs and the day-to-day of running a business.
Yeah, I don't think it's possible to. We struggle with this too, because I think sometimes people just like think it's just like a podcast,
Yeah.
And I was like, it's like kind of maybe like 10% of what takes up the whole
Yeah.
week,
Yeah, the whole operation.
I think like anybody that has reached the level of success that you've both reached, anybody that's really paying attention and understands business knows like this is not.
They know.
It's not easy. Like and you guys have been. When did you start this?
So we started a Bikini Day in 2012, but I had my own company
before that too. It's been over a decade of doing it.
Yeah.
And you don't have that kind of longevity, just like taking a picture.
So the only person that I've seen, and I'm sure there's other people, show it in a really productive way is Gary Vee. Gary Vee, I think he does a good job of taking us through his workday to see how crazy it is. What are the things that you're doing every day that are the boring, nitty-gritty shit that people need to know?
Oh, I mean, I talk so much about all of it in the book, because the premise of the book is really, I think that the dream these days is to run your own business, to have your own brand, to sell your own product, to be your own boss. And entrepreneurialism is more alive than it has ever been. The spirit is just like more than anything, but I think the idea of it and the reality of it are two completely different things. And I really wanted to spell out in the book, like what is really truly involved in running a business every single day. From, you start with this product, you're excited about it, if you can get to the point where you're open to starting the business, that excitement can fade eventually. And then you're left managing a team. You're in all these roles, heading up the finance, shipping the packages, all the jobs that you probably didn't want to do at your job, you now have to do at your own company. And if you're super passionate about it and you love it and it's fulfilling, you'll love every minute of it. But if you're not, it's really not going to feel good. And it's going to be a negative experience. And it's something where I kind of go through the day-to-day of, you know, I'm the CEO, but I'm also so involved in now the design aspect of the business, the marketing aspect of the business. I'm heading up the entire future of our brand and the direction it's going in, and the livelihoods of, you know, all of my employees and their careers are balancing on my shoulders, and my ideas and my direction as the CEO of these companies. So yeah, like just looking at spreadsheets all day on calls with my finance team and working with my operations team, with my buying team, with our design teams, with everyone to keep, you know, we're selling upwards of 500,000 units of swim and beachwear and all of these things every year. And then I've got the Pilates class as well. And it's a lot to manage. And I think that something I've luckily been very good at is hiring well and knowing how to delegate. But also we have never been greedy, and we've always grown the business very organically. We've never taken outside investment because we just really wanted to build a strong foundation for the business. And I feel like I'm just going on because I'm like, you're like, what's in the day-to-day? I'm like,
we love it.
Read the book because I could talk about it for hours, you know?
But I also think like one of the biggest mindfucks too is maybe you go and you escape a job because you don't like the job, and you start your own thing, and then you realize you have to employ other people that may be trying to escape that job and hate that job as well. Right? It's a weird thing going from like individual contributor to a manager to an owner.
Yeah.
And then like you're stressed not only about yourself anymore, but you're also stressed about the well-being of all these people.
And you're working 7
you.
days a week, and people are messaging you at 11 o'clock at night on a Saturday or a Sunday. And really with the book, I wanted to almost not scare people, but I wanted to be so real about it that I know if I read that book at 21, I would be like, let's go, let's do this. I'm so down. I'd be highlighting. I would be like a psychopath, okay? Reading the book, being like, oh my God, eating it all up. Then I'm going to have friends, and I do have friends that have read the book and gone, I never want to start a business now. But they've been thinking about it for years, and everyone has an idea. And I just want to be able to let them put it to bed, to be honest, because I think in life, having clarity and direction is a gift. And I think when you're tormented with this idea that you might want to do something and there's something more out there and you think it's a business, well, then when you discover what that actually means, you know, I'm hoping to give people clarity, and I want to give it to them before they mortgage their house, or before they, you know, spend their life savings or get investment from, you know, some people that aren't going to make their life happy or improve their life in any way. And yeah, I just thought it was great to put it all out there, really be honest and candid about it. I've read every business book out there, and I found that none of them really, really did that for me.
Because it's glamorized, right? Like the entrepreneurial space is glamorized. And what I always say is the parts you love about it enable you to get through the 80% of the shit that you have to wade through, right?
Yeah.
Like there's like 20% of the time, like this is the parts you love, but 80% is like all of the stuff that you are actually trying to escape from.
Yeah. And that's why the book is called Excessively Obsessed, because I was on the call with the publishers, you know, talking about the concept for the book. And I was like, you guys don't understand. Like, you have to be excessively obsessed with your business idea to literally survive, because it is so intense and it is so all-consuming that if you're not like, I don't care what it takes, and I don't even care if this fails, I just need to do it because I can't not do it. Like, I'm up at night thinking about it. I know this is a good idea. I know I need to put it out there. And then the other thing I talk about in there is failure and how we see failure. And that first business you start may not be the one. So as a true business person, you need to be ready to move on to the next thing within 3 seconds. You have to have a 5-second funeral. I talk about that in the book. You've got to just be like, okay, that didn't work. What's next? You know, and there's all these traits that you do have to like make a part of you and who you are as a business owner that I think, again, maybe I had exposure to that from a young age, or it's just come quite naturally to me. But for a lot of other people, I think, you know, they're like, when do I leave my job? When do I take a salary from the company? There's all these really simple questions that I think aren't being answered, that are barriers of entry for so many women specifically, which is who I'm really targeting the book at, that I wanted to answer, because I think there's so many great business ideas out there that probably aren't, going forward because there's just these questions that so many women have of how to make these things work. But then at the same time, there's a lot of businesses that shouldn't be started at all.
I mean, I really love this topic because I feel like you're pulling the veil off of the glamour of being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Like I always say when I talk on the podcast about my business, people see 5% on Instagram story. It's
not
2
even
minutes
5 for
of your
me.
day.
It's probably 0.5.
It's 2 minutes of your day. Like sometimes you don't have time to post in real time. So you're actually doing something else. Like it's just, there is a very like glamour element to it.
Yeah, and I especially with my Instagram because we are influencers and we are selling a lifestyle.
Right.
And I love that too because I love the idea of being positive and that wanderlust and the travel and where are you traveling, what hotel are you staying in? And like for us, that has definitely always been a part of our career. And there's a lot of positivity in that as well for us, which is really nice. But at the same time, like, yeah, it's not really showcasing what we go through.
I think they just don't see like the late nights, the flights that you're on at super late, how you're maybe on a flight for 9 hours doing emails the whole time.
Yeah.
The conference calls, the Zooms, the staring at the screen, the spreadsheets, the QuickBooks. I mean, I think listen, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I fucking love it. I'm excessively obsessed.
Yes.
But it's really like, I feel like this is like a caution to really give the real actual deal of what it is so you can see it all. And then, like you said, make the decision, is this for you?
Exactly. And I also say in it doesn't have to be right now. If you don't have that feeling right now, that doesn't mean you're not going to have that feeling 20 years from now. So many of the most amazing business people in the world started their business when they were 40, 50, or they had many failed businesses before they had one that was really, truly successful. So it's not linear. It's a journey. There's ups and downs. I think that keeping all these things in mind is amazing. And if you're not truly feeling that passion right now, wait, just put things out there into the universe. I'm very about manifesting and just putting things out there. I'm very about momentum and feeling the flow of things and trusting your intuition and all of those things. I talk about all of that in the book. And I also talk a lot about a really important subject, which is burnout and wellness within business too, because I experienced burnout and I had a really bad health scare. And then it became really important to me, as hippy dippy as it sounds. And to me, when I was reading this book at 21, I'd be like, don't care about this part. Because I'd just be like, I'm so excited by my business and I live in like a state of adrenaline and I love being busy. I love throwing myself in the deep end. I say yes to everything. And later on, I'm like, what have I done? But I love that and I thrive in that state. But that's my mind and my body is a different thing. And especially as a woman and without hormones, it is really, really important to recognize what that does to your body. It can create diseases and illnesses and cancer and all sorts of things within your body if you're living in a high stress environment at all times with your cortisol levels really high. That's why I'm so happy I also started the Pilates class because it's really all about grounding and, having a very holistic approach to your wellness, which I love. And every day you've just got to bring down that parasympathetic nervous system and really understand as women and without hormones that it's super important to nourish your body, to give yourself love.
What was your health scare?
So I had long COVID for about 1.5 years.
Oh.
I couldn't even walk for more than 10 minutes. I had like heart palpitations and serious health issues for quite a long time. And I've always been very like a big believer of like health is the only thing that really matters to me. But this took that to another level. And it really made me realize that I thought I was healthy before because I would work out and eat healthy. But I didn't balance the other side of that, which is bringing everything down to nothing. So I was always working out, running around the world, doing all these things, eating healthy. I felt fit. I felt healthy. But it really would have taken anything could have just taken me out at any time. And I do truly believe if I didn't have that experience and I continued to live in that state, that it would have affected me in another really, really serious way later in life. And I'm so glad that I had that experience because now I can talk about these little things that I've been implementing to really, give myself more love and recognize warning signs within your body and listen to your body more, you know.
You guys have that in common. Michael runs hot too. What are the little things that you're doing in your toolbox?
So a lot of people are like, how do you have time for the wellness and for these things?
You make time. You make time for what's important.
You do, but I even in the book talk about the fact that, you know, for entrepreneurs specifically, it's really hard to tell someone to slow down. Okay, you're excited.
I can't stand when someone tells me to slow down. I like to go fast. And honestly, I'd rather carve 10 years off my life and go fast.
Yeah,
I just like, that's just like, honestly, that's how it is.
I'm the same way, but I do have to say,
I'll burn out quick.
There's little things that you can do just so simple. So for example, I talk about the 20/20 rule. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that. So if you're on your computer, in COVID especially, I started like multiple new businesses and I was like, I was psychotic. Okay. I was at my computer 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. because I was like, I don't know what to do because I'm normally so busy.
Yeah.
Wait, quick tangent. Were you in the US or in Australia during this?
In Australia.
Oh, so it was
I was like not even able to leave the country. I was having a freak out. Okay. And I'm glad I did because I did some fantastic things. But I was like 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on the computer. I'd eat lunch at my desk. Like really, I'm exhausted just talking about it. I'm like, this is exhausting. And that was a big part of my burnout too. So we're on screens all day long. You're not supposed to look at a screen for hours. We all know that. We all know the negative effects it has on your health. So set a timer on your phone and every 20 minutes, it doesn't have to go off as an alarm and it will feel like 2 minutes. You'll be actually freaked out by how quickly the 20 minutes goes. You need to just do something, anything else for 20 seconds. So have some water, look out your window, go to the bathroom because sometimes you won't go to the bathroom for like 6 hours because you're so consumed by what you're doing. You know, like this is how I am. I'm so focused.
I have a pee jug down here.
Yeah.
No, it's a joke.
But now you'll have the 20/20
about your pee jug.
the 20/20 rule and you don't have to pee down under the desk. And I'm then just
right now. No, I'm just kidding.
The other really big thing for me, and I talk about many tips, but is once a day, normally around 3 or 4 o'clock, and this is for everyone, but specifically for women, you need to bring everything in your body down to nothing. You need to either meditate or you need to just sit in silence anywhere because everyone's job is different. I know it's, for me, I'll lay down and meditate for 10 to 15 minutes and you cannot just be up here all day long until you go to sleep. From the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep. So
are you listening?
I've gotten better at this.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
So I think every day at 3 or 4 o'clock, you just need to lay down or sit down, not be on your phone, not be talking, close your eyes, meditate, do something. And you actually feel your shoulders drop and you feel your face relax and you just feel this like thing in your body of what it is to just let your body. And after the 10 minutes, you're like, I just actually gave my body like a true moment of like peace and relaxation. And then you can bring it back up again. But that has changed my whole life because living in that state of adrenaline is not okay. Even after my workouts now, a lot of people on the Pilates class, we see them skipping the stretch. I really am like, do the stretch and do the little breath work, even for 60 seconds. Anything, you guys, is better than nothing. Just to like bring it back down. Like you can't be working out and then your body's staying in this state of like where your parasympathetic nervous system is all up here, you know, bring it all down and just be mindful. I usually am going between meetings. I'm on calls in between the meetings. You know, when you've got a team of 40 people, someone needs to speak to you at all times. So you're talking all day long. I've started to not take the call in the car. I've started to just drive in my car and listen to music or listen to a podcast, listen to him and her, and actually just like take a moment for myself. And that's what I mean. Like, it doesn't have to be some crazy routine. It doesn't have to be anything. I'm not asking people to do a lot, but especially for entrepreneurs, I just want to be like, just be mindful and listen to your body. And when you know you need a break, take the break and do not feel guilty to take the break.
You and Michael have the syndrome that's called, where's the saber-toothed tiger?
I am good at taking, if I need to take the break, I will take the break. But I will say that naturally and always, not like even when I was a kid, I'm just wired with a, like, do you require a wake up period in the morning?
What do you mean?
Like, okay, maybe this sounds strange to people. Like when I open my eyes in the morning,
you just go.
I'm like this. Like there's no like, let me like slow.
I don't know. I'd have to ask other people in my life.
Horrific.
Okay.
Like,
Devin's saying
she
no.
gets so mad at me. But like,
literally look at me until 10. I'll think about it at 10.
She gets so mad at me. Like when I'm up, I'm
why
up.
are you talking
I'm
to me
straight
about
onto
this?
my emails, straight
Give me
onto
some
my
coffee. Let me have some electrolytes.
But I do like to have a moment, but I am definitely like a morning person.
I like to have a moment, but I'm just saying, like, look, she gets mad because she's like, she's more like a slower, like, I mean, just say
He's like
slower.
asking me about where I want to retire. I'm like, bitch, I gotta get some coffee and get a workout in and like maybe a sauna. Then like talk to me about this.
Well, I've realized as I've gotten older, I have to find places to kind of like channel the energy.
Yes. Yeah.
But in the past, it's been maybe unhealthy because it'll like manifest as cortisol, or I'll be like doing things, I'm forcing things.
Yeah, and at a certain age, you can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Like Lauren, we were just talking about how much we travel all the time, and like I could do it before I'd go. I don't even get jet lag, and then now I'm like, oh, jet lag's the thing. Like I have to know
actually,
how to deal with
jet lag
it.
is for the uncultured. But
Oh my God, everyone's gonna have a field day with that. Put that on TikTok.
God.
Just pull that clip.
when Andrew Huberman was like, "This is what you do jet lag," I'm like, "No, it's like it's because you're uncultured." No, I'm just, it's a joke, people. But really, like, you just have to kind of this is the new time zone.
How do you think I feel when this is? He's like, "Wake up, jet lag's uncultured."
But look, I'm married to a really. I literally think that Theo was like a Spartan in his past life. Like he's Greek, and him and his dad and like his whole family have so much energy. They never need a break. They never need a rest. And
Nice.
I was like being shamed in the beginning for like, and I'm normally the one out of everyone I know that is like crazy. And then being with him, it was like, all of a sudden I was the weak one. So
I think it's like,
That's probably why you married
I know
him.
exactly how it feels.
Yeah,
I know exactly how
I'm
it
just
feels.
excited. That's all. I'm excited to
Yeah,
like be awake in the first place.
Too,
Yeah.
but like, give me a minute to collect my thoughts. Jesus.
But isn't that what is so wonderful about our lives is that we wake up and we're excited.
Yes.
And like, that's why I kind of love that our brand's called Monday, because I'm like, Mondays for us are fun. You know, when you find, and that's what's so wonderful about when you do become an entrepreneur and that's why in the book I talk about everything. I'm so real about it. But at the same time, like if you find that thing that you love and you have the blessing of waking up excited in the morning about your life or about your work, that's number one for me. That's the number one biggest blessing. Like someone at one of my book tour launches the other day said to me, what's the best thing about being successful? And I said, the best thing about being successful is the fact that we have the opportunity for anything we do to actually be successful. Because there's so many people with amazing ideas that work their ass off and it never takes off. Okay. And I'm so aware of like timing and luck and hard work and all of these things and how everything has to have the perfect storm to see you become successful. And you know, everything that comes with it, the financial freedom and, you know, all the perks, and we travel the world and that's all amazing. But the feeling that you created something and other people like it and it's done well and it continually fulfills you and fuels your fire and makes you feel passionate, that's a huge blessing, because it's really hard for people when something isn't doing well to maintain that passion, to maintain that enthusiasm, you know. So I'm like, what a blessing that we are able to have that feeling that consistently fuels us to just want to do more and be better and create bigger things.
The way I think about it though, so I think like not when I was super young, but the first 20 years of my life, I was unfulfilled. Meaning like a lot of people really like look back on their childhood and like, this was so great. And they love school and they love going to class and they love to go to college. And they like, you know, they have these great high school memories and these great college ones. And I have memories that were good. I had a great childhood. Yeah. But like, I remember going through, I'm like, I hate school. I don't find any of this fulfilling. I don't find it interesting. All I wanted to do was get out and move on. Yeah. And because of that, my entire adult life has been creating an environment that I'm actually excited about. Does that make sense? Because it was like, I was like, why am I in this environment that I was just not enjoying it. I didn't like it. It wasn't fulfilled. And so I think like what I've found about entrepreneurship is like, this is just the sport that I've chosen to play that I find fulfilling, that I'm excited about, because I hated the first 20 years of just bullshit that I didn't find interesting. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I think that passion comes in so many different forms for everyone. And that's also what I want people to realize in this book is it's not just for someone that wants a business. It's just about, even if it's within your career, talking about the idea that you might think you hate your job, but I think that you need to go into every single thing that you do, no matter what it is, and do your absolute best, and putting that energy out there and being aware of what's going on, be in the company, but also what does everyone else in the company do? Interview them about their positions, understand the ins and outs of a business, and you are inside one. So pay attention. Like, there's so much more to life than just, you know, being like, oh, I'm not really happy. Like, why aren't you happy? Are there other things that you can be doing within your role or within your life that will fulfill you or make you happier? Or is it really someone else's fault that you're like feeling that way? And sometimes that fulfillment comes for people in being a parent, in finding a hobby that they love. You know, it doesn't always have to be. And I think these days, so many, I don't know about you guys, but almost everyone I know thinks it's going to come in the form of owning their own business. It's crazy how much people...
The tide will shift, though.
Yeah.
Because I think what happened is it was like girl boss hustle era. Mm-hmm. And now people like you are coming out and showing what actually it is.
Yeah.
And hopefully social media will start to really, I mean, I really want to show more of what I do behind the scenes, but it's boring.
I think
it's calls, like not to other people though. That's
Lauren's
the thing.
Always run her own business and been entrepreneurial, but like when she started, let's just say the product line, for example, when she like, that was a different thing than just creating, like what it was.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, well, like if you really want to do this, let's talk about the things that come with this. Let's talk about logistics and fulfillment. Let's talk about customer service. Let's talk about HR. Let's talk about hiring. Let's talk about being a manager. All of these things. Let's talk about firing people. Let's go through all of that. And if you're still super excited and like have a burning desire to do it, then absolutely.
So you were basically her book on.
No, but she did a lot
more. Those
like,
things.
She takes all the credit, but we just talked about like the ugly things that come with running,
which is a really important conversation.
And I think like
he started a business before me, so he was able to give me guidance.
I just think
that's
like,
great.
You know, like the other day we were like, you know, we were going through mid-year reviews for Dear Media, and like, you know, going through like 70 or so people. And I was just like, this is one of the worst parts of my job where like some people are going to be disappointed. Some people are going to be super happy. Some people aren't going to. And it's just like, I think more entrepreneurs should not only talk about the exciting stuff, but like, I don't want to fucking run an HR department. I have to, right? I don't want to like sit down and go through a P&L. I have to. Like, it's just like part of the thing that comes with, you know, running your own
even
business.
Just the human aspect of having a team. And in my book, it was like hard not to get carried away because we have businesses that do have quite a few employees. So I try to be real about the fact that for a lot of people, it might just be having one or two employees, but even that can be painful. So like it can be like a lot just to even manage two other people. It doesn't have to be 30 or 40 people. But there's also like this human aspect to business that I think a lot of people don't talk about enough as well, that I really tried to cover in the book, of recognizing that you as the manager cannot just expect everyone to bend over backwards for you and conform to your style of communication and conform to who you are and what you want. You have to manage your team, and managing a team means understanding that every person has their own personality, their own life. They have good days, they have bad days. They're human beings. They communicate in different ways. You have to understand that just because this employee might come across a certain way, well, maybe that's just their communication style. Is it different to you? And you just need to kind of understand them better. And I think that letting people, even within their roles, is something I'm really big on. Is I feel like so many people that own businesses sit there all day going, so-and-so isn't doing this and they're not doing that and they suck at this. And they spend all their time and energy focusing on what they're bad at. And I'm like, well, what are they good at?
Yeah.
We bring people into the company just purely based off their vibe, their passion, their drive. It's nothing to do with a degree, their loyalty, their excitement about the brand. And then we go, let's see what this person's good at. And then they can grow within that role. And we will literally create them a role, because I think it's so important to pay attention to what people enjoy, what they're good at, and like manage the team.
I think it's almost like allowing them to be a solopreneur within the organization.
Exactly. We are so big on that.
If you come from a team and you're part of a team and then you switch to being an owner, like, one, nobody will ever feel sorry for you ever again, because they're going to say,
never.
It's your business, too bad.
Yeah.
And two, you can actually never really be part of the team. And I'll elaborate. Like, I feel I'm part of the team and hopefully the team wants me around. But at the same time, there's the dynamic that like I'm their direct report and their boss, and I'm the person that has to run the P&L. So like you're in, but it's also lonely in the sense that you're like, you're not really in, and you can't, and you honestly can't be. Like I see a lot of entrepreneurs, they like want to be part of the club. Like, hey, we're all buddies here. We're all going out.
Yeah.
It's not, you can't really do that. It's not the same as like, hey, the sales department's going out for drinks. You're not part of that anymore. Now you're the boss. And like,
And as much as we don't like to have a hierarchy in our business, like I remember one time my GM wanted to make an org chart and be like, and I was like, I don't want a visual. I'm not trying to have like people at the bottom, like I was like, we're a team. That's it. There's no hierarchy here.
That's really smart.
But at the end of the day, what you're saying is true, that there is, and people sense that, and you try your hardest to make it feel like no one's above anyone else. But that is something that you naturally have to deal with in a business.
I mean, like there's no scenario anymore. Like as much as I want to socialize and be friendly with everybody, and I mean that, it's just like, there's a dynamic that exists whether I like it or not, or whether you like it or not, or it's just what happens. It's a natural order of things. And it doesn't work if you try to be in the, like you have to lead, right? You have to be you have to be the one that's setting the pace.
But you also, I mean, I've just recently within the last year hired and manifested for this person and hired the most amazing GM in the company, because I recognize that I don't have the time to give the individualized attention to everyone that they deserve. And I don't want people to get the wrong impression. I'm so busy at all times. I don't have time to ask about the weekends or talk about like anything but work. I'm just there being like, okay, what's going on with this? Because that's how I am, and that's me all day long. No one's asking me about my weekend, or like I'm just talking about business. So I think it's just important. And I talk about that too in the book, about recognizing, when do you need other people to help you maintain that ethos, apart from just yourself. And you have to recognize your strengths and weaknesses and know when you need to bring other people in to help maintain what it is that you've wanted to create.
Carson, all that being said, I need you to leave and tell everyone that I'm your best friend. Summer is here and summer is hotter than ever. If you're somebody that starts to feel that midday slump, sometimes you feel a little mentally slow, tired, feel like you struggle to get hydrated, it's likely because you don't have the proper electrolyte ratio in your system. This is why Lauren and I have been longtime partners and fans of Element. Element helps anyone stay hydrated without the sugar and other dodgy ingredients found in popular electrolyte and sports drinks. Electrolyte deficiency or imbalance can cause headaches, cramps, fatigue, brain fog, and weakness. So if you're someone or anyone that has suffered from these types of things, I know I was, try adding Element into your supplement rotation and you'll be amazed to see the changes you feel. Some of the things I personally noticed when I started taking Element is my headaches went away. I started to sleep better. I didn't have that midday slump. I had more energy in the gym, and I just felt overall much better. What many people don't realize is simply drinking water is not enough to get hydrated. You need that proper electrolyte ratio. Electrolytes are charged minerals that conduct electricity to power your nervous system. They also regulate hydration status by balancing fluids inside and outside of your cells. An Element was formed with a science-backed electrolyte ratio of 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. Of course, we have a special offer for all of our listeners and viewers. Get your free Element sample pack with any purchase at drinkelement.com/skinny. Also try the new Element Sparkling, a bold 16-ounce can of sparkling electrolyte water. Again, that's drinkelement.com/skinny.
Are you looking to upgrade your oral care game? I know you guys are, because we've had some famous dentists on and you always message me and DM me about how much you like the episodes. So let me introduce you to Dentec. Dentec is the leader, the #1 brand in dental guards for nighttime teeth grinding. I used to grind my teeth so bad, so much so that you guys know I got jaw surgery. And if you're a teeth grinder, I feel for you. I would definitely recommend looking into dental guards, especially for while you're sleeping. This is such a game changer. Dentec, though, also has this thing. It's called the Oral Brush Tongue Cleaner. And it freshens your breath by cleaning your tongue. So it's 103 ultra soft micro pointed bristles that reach deep into the uneven cervicals of your tongue. You know how passionate I am about cleaning the tongue. If you want to lift the bacteria, this is a good way to do it. Dentec is available at multiple retailers, including Target, Walmart, and Amazon. I got my oral brush tongue cleaner on Amazon, so it's a really quick, easy way to go grab one. Dentec is the brand to empower everyone to take charge of their oral care health. It really goes beyond the basics. If you're going to do the guard, this is going to help ease the pain from clenching and grinding. This also helps prevent conditions caused by teeth grinding, including jaw aches, tooth chipping, cracking, headaches. And if you're going to use the oral brush, the one that I love, you should know that the bristles are designed after a surgeon's scrub brush. It's 2-in-1 bristles lift bacteria, whereas the scraper removes it. Go to dentech.com or Target, Walgreens, Walmart, or Amazon. I had a little staycation a couple weeks ago. Resort Pass is actually local in Austin, and it was so cute. We had the best time. We ate fruit plates. We had ice cream with lots of sprinkles. We also played in the water. There's like a water fountain there. We laid out, we read, we relaxed. We had amazing service, and I would highly recommend it if you're looking to do something fun in Austin. Resort Pass provides exclusive day passes to luxury hotel pools, cabanas, and spas without needing to stay overnight. Resort Pass partners with over 1,300 of the world's best hotels. The one that I went to was the Omni in Austin, 10 out of 10. Some of their day passes start as low as $25. So definitely go and check it out because you can literally transform an average day into an escape. I mean, my kids were talking about it like all day before we got there. And then after we left, they absolutely loved it. It felt like we were in this like luxurious hotel, but not spending the night. It was a great way to like reconnect, recharge, have fun. We put our phones away. I literally took a couple pictures and then threw my phone in my bag and read my Kindle. And it was absolutely amazing. Resort Pass is really the best kept secret. Definitely check out if they're in your town. Or if you're going to come to Austin, then you have to grab Resort Pass. It's such a no-brainer. It's hot here and it's absolutely perfect. Visit resortpass.com/skinny to get $20 off your first Resort Pass experience. That's resortpass.com/skinny.
I have some very important questions that I need to get out. The first one has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Great.
Okay, let's do it. Let's switch the subject anyway.
You guys make a mean legging. I love your leggings. Your black Monday leggings, Monday body leggings, you guys, they hold you in the right places. They're just like flattering. It's a good legging. What are your tips? Because this, I feel like you and Devin are the queen of this, to be flattered. Meaning, how do you take a photo? What are the outfits that you should be wearing? If someone wants to really be flattered in pictures or in real life, what are the secrets?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. Thank you about the legging.
I love the leggings.
Carson, get your notepad out right now.
I agree. I agree with the leggings. And to be honest, we never, ever, ever would have relaunched our active range if we didn't think it was totally necessary and if we still were not finding what we wanted in the market. And you know, we wear everything and we've worked with every brand.
Yes.
And the sports bras just weren't supportive enough and the leggings weren't doing it for us. And we just needed to do it ourselves because you know how it is.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, the lighting, the angles, I mean, so many of my friends will go to take a picture and they're like, why do you always look so good? I look horrible in photos. And I'm like, it's not to do with like me and how I look. It's just purely because I know my angles. I know what time of day to take a photo.
What time of day?
I mean, do not go out at 12 o'clock when the sun's overhead and expect to take a good photo. That's not going to work.
Times?
Go in the shade if you're going to do that.
Okay.
You need the morning light or the afternoon light.
What time specifically?
Well, it depends on the season.
Oh,
I'm very specific here. Hello.
I'm going to message
when
you.
the sun's setting at 9:30 or 10:30 at night, it depends on your country. It depends on the season.
I'm going to be so annoying. I'm going to be like, hey, I'm in Miami right now and I need you to tell. Okay.
Just message me. Okay. Just message me. Yeah, I'll look up the sunset time and I'll tell you exactly when to take the
by
photos.
the sunset
No,
time.
Michael, I need you to just be quiet.
I'm trying to keep up here. I'm reciting back.
Maybe he wants to know more about this than you think.
No, he doesn't take a photo for the life of him.
Hey, I set the bar so fucking
he
low when
takes
we got
one
together. I was taking lopsided, blurry. So I was like, because I knew if I...
There's so many techniques with the camera too.
What?
Like
Tell
everyone
us the
thinks we
techniques.
take out photos on like professional cameras because with the iPhone, like one of the biggest tips I have is when people try to take a photo, they like put the camera this way or this way. The camera has to be completely flat.
Okay.
Because you're distorting the image.
Got it.
So if you're shooting like this, it's going to make you look short. If you're shooting like this, it's going to make you look tall. So if you want to take a photo and you're standing and you want a full body shot, you go low and you look tall. If you want to take a photo of your face, don't go low and shoot up into your nose. You know, you want to go high and kind of have that mid-body shot. But yeah, there's so many techniques.
What about when you pick an outfit for a picture, what are the tips?
I think something with Monday is we create really flattering designs as you're, feeling when you're wearing them. And I think that not all brands are equal in that way.
No.
So I think what's really unfortunate a lot of the time, and the reason that everyone has like this Monday moment when they try on Monday and they're like, oh my God, I finally feel good in a bikini or in my leggings or in whatever it is they're wearing from the brand, is that we actually design things that will flatter your body. We make sure that the pant is just long enough to make your leg look long, and it sits just right to like flatter your torso, and the top's like sitting in the right position to like make your decollage look beautiful. And we're very about flattering the female form. Whereas a lot of things that people wear, or they don't know what flatters their body, it just, doesn't do you any favors. Basically.
Is there anything we should stay away from? Like, are you not a fan of prints? Like, is there anything that you're just like, fuck no, I'm not wearing that?
Oh my God, I don't know. I'm kind
like,
of
how
open
did you
to
pick
every
this outfit? Like, you know, like did you pick it because it's cinched, or do you not even think about it anymore? It's just natural.
Well, the thing is, for me, having like a cinched waist works, but for a lot of people that doesn't work.
Got it.
So you really have to know your body. But just wear only Monday, and I promise you, you'll feel good.
By the way, Michael is the person that taught me about tailoring. So if you think he's not paying attention, he is. He loves a good cut, tight, you know, Michael.
Well, you don't need to be like all sloppy about it.
Yeah, okay, all sloppy. Okay.
Tailoring is super important. I think there's a lot of really amazing Australian designers. And I don't know what it is that's going on down there, but we know how to do tailoring.
But you know,
for like all different body types, not just, you know, the standard size small.
Yeah, I just think like, to your point, like people sometimes are unaware of their figures, and they look at like certain people in magazines, stuff like, you know, like sometimes I like, Lauren, you get excited about certain things you see, and I'm like, I don't know if that's going to work.
He'll literally be able to be like, this will look good on you. He will pick it out. He'll buy me clothes, and it's like, he just knows. He has an eye. If you ever need a male designer for a Monday, he does. You do have an eye for clothes.
That's your next thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know anything about designing clothes.
Okay.
It is sad to think that anyone would feel insecure about themselves or feel not good, which is why we really wanted to start the brand, because they're wearing something that makes them feel like, even swimwear, when it's digging in the wrong places and squeezing things and making you feel like not good in yourself, that sucks. Like, that's nothing to do with you. I think curves are beautiful. You know, you just need something
There's a lot
that
of bikinis that are not flattering.
Oh,
99%.
You
know. I mean, you know what I'm talking about.
We're trying to change that. We're trying to change the world.
I'm like, I
here.
don't need to see my hey mod. Do you know what a hey mod is? A hey mod is this thing right here, where the thing under the arm where you wave and it wiggles because you're saying hey to mod across the street.
I've never
I
heard
don't
that.
need my hey mod in a bikini. All right. What is in Natasha's bag? Tell us what's in your bag, what bag you have. Tell us.
So today I've got my Miu Miu. I don't know if anyone can see this.
Go to YouTube, guys.
That's a new one. I like it because it's big. It fits a lot of things. Goes over the shoulder. You know, I can actually kind of fit my laptop too, which is good. First thing that's in here, because I brought it for you guys today, is my book.
Yay.
Excessively
I like the cover.
obsessed.
It's so cute.
Oh, thank you. Everyone's
cute.
saying it's really on the vibe of the brat girl summer.
What is a brat girl
What's a
summer?
brat girl
with the
summer?
green?
We don't know what this is, and people keep
What's a
telling
brat
it.
girl summer?
You don't know the album that's out?
No.
It's become like this whole, you might not even want to put that in there, because maybe it'll timestamp it.
Are we getting old? We don't know anything
I think
anymore.
I just listen to Bossa Nova.
Me too, honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly. I've got my Monday sunglasses. You guys, look at this.
Yeah,
okay?
let's see.
You think that we only flatter people with swimwear and clothing? We wanted to create sunglasses that are flattering on every single person. So like all 40 people in our team can wear these glasses. They're gorgeous.
Those are really cute.
They make everyone look good. You guys try them on. Even you try them on, please.
I don't know. I got a small head, so.
No, it doesn't matter. They're going to look
Carson.
good. Trust me.
Let me see.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Look at that. Look at
Nice.
that.
Amazing.
Get a close up here.
Like seriously. And now you try them.
Let me try.
Like
That costs extra, guys.
they are.
Yeah. My rate is through the roof.
Oh, we're sending you these.
Let me see.
We're sending you these.
You know why I like these?
Let's see.
Because they widen the face and lift the eyes up. So I like a facelift with a sunglass. I can't fucking stand when the sunglass is pulling my eye
droop
down.
your face down.
Ew.
Do you like?
I love these. Look at these sunglasses.
Pretty
Monday.
good.
They're so good, you guys. I can't.
So good.
I can't get over it.
Love the sunglasses.
So I've got those at all times. I've got this weird little, this is, you know, I should plug this brand because to everyone I know, it's this random brand called Happy Hairbrush. And because I have blonde hair, I can only use certain brushes because otherwise it just breaks and damages my hair. And it's this random Australian brand that's the only brush I can use. And this is like the travel one.
They're going to love that.
I've got my Huda Beauty Sandy Beige lip contour.
Love.
My number one most asked question at the moment is my new lip liner because I've been wearing a new one and everyone's noticed.
I might get that hairbrush, to be honest.
I'm not joking. You should,
it.
because you have quite long hair.
I might get it.
So it'll be really good for you. And then I've got the Ilia Faded Lip Balm. I've got my La Mer. Oh my God, this lip volumizer from La Mer. Smells good. The texture, it's not sticky. It's the perfect lip liner. And my hotel room key. I don't really have anything in there
And
today.
you have your phone with an...
with my... What is this little octopus thing? I don't know what we call it.
Octobody.
You know, in Greek, I think octopody is octopus in Greek. So let's just call it the octopody.
My son calls it a puss.
Why?
An octopus, he calls a puss.
Okay,
He runs through my house screaming, "I love puss."
Just like his dad.
Yeah.
Anyways, ding.
I love that.
That's
it.
amazing. Okay, before we go, I have 5 questions from the team. They're rapid fire. This is for the Skinny Confidential series. They said you use your ice roller often. How do you use it?
So I wake up, and after I've done my workout and cleansed my face, I use the ice roller, and then I use a heated red light gua sha. So I do like the hot and cold routine.
What's your favorite skincare hack?
Oh my God. I think the double cleanse. So I use a regular cleanser, and then I use a cleansing oil, which has been a game changer for me.
Do you know the brands? Because they're going to ask.
Yes. So I use Fresh Soy Face Wash, and then I use Living Libations Best Skin Ever Face Oil.
I love that oil.
Face oil cleanser. I use the orange one. I don't know what it's called.
What's your non-negotiable in your wellness routine?
Sleep.
What Skinny Confidential product do you want to see next?
Oh my God.
Any product.
You're going to have to pay me to.
I'm
just kidding.
Do a wand.
Oh my God.
And don't say a vibrator that we gave Devin in her purse.
Some sort of really cool red light thing, I think.
Okay. How do you start your morning as a business owner?
I'm guilty of waking up and immediately checking my phone and my emails. Because a lot of the time I'm in a different part of the world from my team and they're waiting on me to answer. But I like to just get them out of the way for about 20 minutes, anything that's urgent. And then I go into my full-blown wellness routine of my Pilates, my ice roller, my gua sha, my skincare, getting ready for work.
I like that answer because Lauren hates when I open my phone first thing in the morning and she has all these like wellness experts that come on and say it's the worst thing ever.
I actually understand your debacle though, because you are all over the world. So that's different.
No, when I'm in LA, I have to say it's a lot easier for me to not do that because no one's sent me a message overnight. So I wake up with 100 emails and 50 texts. So I'm like, have anxiety. It's more relaxing for me to just answer people and then go on with my wellness routine than it is to not answer. And then some things we've lost an opportunity or something's gone wrong because someone didn't get an answer from me.
Well, everybody always says this thing was like, if you do that, you're on defense because you have to answer all these people. I'm like, why do you have to answer right away? I just want to see what's going on. And then I can move on.
And I don't answer everything. I just, anything that I'm like, okay, this person does need to know that to move on with their day. I don't want to slow them down.
Lauren's like, aren't you going to be triggered? I'm like, triggered by what? Like, I just got to see
No, not triggered.
Sometimes you can get triggered.
Yeah, that's not the right word.
Sometimes I'm like, I wish I didn't look at my phone before.
I want to be proactive and not reactive to everyone else's to-do list. However, with 40 and 70 employees, you guys...
It's a greater problem that people feel obligated to answer emails right away. Sometimes I'll wait a month.
Ooh, okay. What's in your travel bag? Skincare, beauty-wise.
Like on the plane?
Just what are your go-tos that are in your bag? Wellness, beauty, health, diet?
Okay. So I love products like my quarterly face elixir mist. And there's also like on the plane, I just love all the things on the plane. I like to have a full routine in the plane because we're traveling so much that for us to not feel completely disgusting when we land, we have to know how to do all the things. So I just have so many oils and lip balms and face masks and things that I travel with. And then what I love about the Pilates class is I can do that anywhere. So I was just in New York. We did it this morning in the gym. So that's kind of a nice hack traveling to maintain your fitness routine.
We are going to do code SKINNY. And what do we get off? How much percent?
You're going to get 20% off Monday Body. And we have your favorites, right? That
Yes.
We're going to do a giveaway.
You guys, we're going to do a giveaway for my favorites. We'll do like a package to one of you of all my favorites from Monday Body. All you have to do is follow at Monday Body on Instagram. Tell us your favorite takeaway from this episode with Natasha on my latest post at Lauren Bostic. And then go to mondaybody.com and use code SKINNY to shop. You said 20% off?
Yes.
20% off. I would definitely recommend, if you're going to get anything, I cannot tell you enough. Those leggings are the best black leggings.
What's your favorite sports bra? Have you tried the sports bras?
I haven't tried the sports bras.
Oh my God. You think the leggings good?
I need something to hold these up.
Yeah, don't worry. We've got you.
I feel like you guys can relate. This
you.
is not, okay, I need something to,
yeah.
There's a lot of boobs
the
in this
Tash
room.
and the Devon bra, you're going to live in them. You're going to live in the Tash and Devon bras.
Okay. Perfect. Mondaybody.com, code SKINNY, 20% off. Where can everyone find you? Pimp yourself out.
Monday Swimwear, Monday Body on Instagram. I'm Tash Oakley. The Pilates class, the birthing class, the list really goes on.
And the book. Tell us where to get the book.
So Excessively Obsessed. It's so bright and green. It's on Amazon. It's in Barnes & Nobles. It's available in most countries in the world. And you can just go to my website, excessivelyobsessed.com, to see where it's available in your country.
Awesome. Congrats on the book.
It. And
thank you so much.
Devon is coming on the podcast. I'm holding her to this soon.
She's excited.
Okay. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me, guys. It was nice to meet you.